All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Actually, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Wednesday morning Inner Circle Live session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partners, Mr. Benny Allen and Miss Casey Jackson. Hope everybody's doing well today. We're gonna dive into these charts to take a look at a couple fundamental things. Then we will take a look at Aussie pairs and dollar pairs as we got some dollar news coming up today. So as always, let's turn off all distractions, prepare your minds and your bodies to engage as you guys always do. And for the courtesy of everybody on the call, please ensure that your mic is muted if you're not actively asking a question or making a comment. All right, so let's get to it. So we got a few things happening this morning. Here, dollar muted ahead of retail sales and Fed minutes. The dollar index steadied around $106 in muted market action on Wednesday as traders await U.S. retail sales data. It could give insight on the state of the consumer, as well as minutes from the last Federal Reserve policy meeting that could offer fresh clues on the central bank's rate hike path. Meanwhile, the index remained above 0.7% up, about 7%, 0.7% up this week, as several central bank officials reassured markets that a dovish pivot is unlikely, despite signs of that inflation could be peaking. Richmond Fed Bank President Thomas Barkin said Friday that the Fed will have to continue to move rates into restrictive territory until he sees inflation sustainably moving within the target range for a significant period of time. This could be some key language there, for a significant period of time, not just getting into the range, but being in the range for a period of time. So we'll make that as a mental note. The dollar also benefited from safe haven buying as weak Chinese and U.S. data reignited fears of a global recession. All right, so that's from the dollar perspective. Then we had UK inflation rate hits highest since 1982. The annual inflation rate in the UK increased to 10.1% in July from 9.4% in the previous period and slightly above market forecast of 9.8%. It was the highest reading since February 1982 as prices rose faster for housing and utilities, recreation and culture, food and non-alcoholic beverages, and restaurant and hotels. On the other hand, transportation prices eased. Compared to the previous month, consumer prices were up 0.6% below the 0.8% in June, but above the forecast of 0.4. All right. So inflation in the UK is on the run. Okay. Then we had Australian dollar weakens on data miss. The Australian dollar weakened to 70 cents after the latest wage growth data missed expectation and lagged badly behind inflation, prompting markets to scale back their bets that the Reserve Bank of Australia will deliver a near 50 basis point hike in September. Still, the minutes from the last RBA meeting reiterated that more rate hikes were likely, while acknowledging the downside risk to the economy. The Aussies is down nearly 2% so far this week, also facing pressure from weak global economic data that reignited the fears of a global recession, right? While hawkish remarks from U.S. Federal Reserve policymakers pressured risk-sensitive currencies further, right? So the Aussie pressing to the downside, not going to commit at a 50 basis point hike potentially. Well, that's the assumption. And there's pressure from other parts of the globe. All right. So those are some important pieces for us to keep in mind. We'll take a look at the Aussie, see where those sit. And oil. WTI crude futures remain under pressure at around $86 per barrel on Wednesday, the lowest since February, as mounting risk of a global recession and potential boost in Iranian supply more than offset the larger than expected decline in U.S. crude inventories. The EU said Tuesday that it was studying Iran's response to a final draft agreement on reviving the 2015 nuclear accord. And analysts said that a potential deal could unleash 2.5 million barrels per day of Iranian crude to the global markets. Investors also continue to grapple with the risk of a global economic slowdown that could heavily impact demand, right? So you got potential increase in supply, but a decrease in demand means price is going to continue to push to the downside. With major central banks set to raise interest rates further to bring down inflation. Meanwhile, an industry report showed U.S. crude stockpiles fell by 448 barrels last week, 448,000 barrels last week, compared to the market forecast of 117,000 barrel drop. All right. So you got it. Still that bounce back and forth on oil. Okay. But more pressure to the downside, potentially due to the fear of potential demand decrease. Okay. So Forex Factory, right? We talked about the Aussie numbers that came in short last night. If you're on the call, we watched how the market moved. Where are we at here? Here we go. We watched how the market moved, and then we had Reserve Bank of New Zealand come in with a at expectation reading, right? And it was kind of already priced in. We had some initial reactions, and then price kind of settled in where things were. When it comes to the statement, I didn't get a chance to read. Let's see. It looks like everything was already priced into the market. And they came in rather dovish. Yeah, data dependent. So things were already priced into the market, and we had an initial emotional response, and then things leveled out and continued on the path that they were on. So that came in last night, and today we had CPI data there, and we're looking at these core retail sales for the United States today. This is going to be key. And then we have FOMC minutes coming in at 2:00 from the meeting last month. So these two things are going to be key for us today to follow. And then tonight we have employment and unemployment rate for the Australian dollar. All right. So got a pretty big day today from a news announcement perspective. So we'll keep our eyes on those to see what volatility we get in the market. All right. Any questions from a fundamental perspective? No? All right. So let's hop over and take a look at some charts. We talked about this Aussie CAD last night, and it's still pressing to the downside, right? We look at it overall from a weekly perspective, right? Got price moving down, right? We came back, attempted to retest this weekly level here, right? And we got to turn over and press down, okay? Let's drop down to the daily. From a daily perspective, this is our look, 618 retracement. We got a new swing high that formed there. All right, so we'll drop our new resistance level here on the daily, right? 2 to the right, 2 to the left, new resistance level, price pressing to the downside. So we'll see how the market responds as we continue to press lower here, okay? As we get to the 4, right? This is that move. Tried to retest that 618 level there on the 4 also, and now we're pressing down. So as price approaches, right, you got a 4-hour resistance here, but you got a daily level just below it, right? So that's your 4-hour support. So as price approaches these next two levels, I'm primarily watching this level here, which was actually, let me take that out. Let me make sure that's the right level. Yep. Okay. So that's our daily support here. Okay. So as price approaches this level, I want to see how it responds. Excuse me. We know we got oil that's bouncing back and forth, and we know that the Aussie obviously is dovish as well, right? So we want to see how price responds as it gets to these lower levels, right? We got some, like I said, 4-hour support levels here as we press down. But as we get to this daily support, then we'll monitor to see how price responds, to see if we stay in this range or if we break down and continue pressing lower to ultimately work our way to that D extension on the 4. Okay, so on the move to the downside, we get here to the 1. This is the look, right? We took out our trend line, so we'll take these out now. Right, we even broke this trend line here, so we'll take that out as well. So now it's just monitoring the move to the downside. I don't know if any of you are in this play, but monitoring the move to the downside to see if and when we get price to turn over. So run the trend line. Like so. And then inner trend line coming here. And then one last coming down, right? So now it's just a matter of, does price stay to the downside, right? Do we stay below the trend line, continue pressing, or do we get a break above and start making our way higher? Okay. So we'll monitor things as we get to this lower level here. This is that daily support. Okay. So still got a little ways to go at that AB boundary. We'll see this is that next level of 4-hour support at the 618 retracement here on the 1. So we'll see if we get potentially a retracement and then another press down and see how the market responds as we get to these deeper retracement levels here on the 1-hour fib. Okay, so that's where we sit on the Aussie CAD. Keep your eyes on it to see if we get price to turn over at any point, right? Because we could have a nice play on the lower time frames as price continues to press deeper, and we could at least get a retracement out of this that you could play on your 15-minute time frame looking at your cloud. Okay, so just keep your eyes on it. Nothing doing right now. I just want to bring it to you guys' attention that we're approaching some deep retracement levels on the 1-hour time frame, and we want to watch it to see if we get price to turn over. We get a crossover, lagging span, a breakthrough, and then a cloud twist. All right, so keep your eyes on that one as we move throughout the day today. Okay, questions on the Aussie CAD? No? All right, cool deal. I'm gonna bounce back real quick, take a look at the dollar and where it sits. Right, so here on the 4, we're still ranging right below this previous monthly level. Couldn't break out to the downside below the daily level, right? And this is on the 4, right? So we're still in this range, pressing back up at just shy of a 382 here, right? And this is that range that the article talked about. So depending on how that data comes in at 8:30, those retail sales numbers, we could either see a double top form here and price press down, or price push through and break this level and continue higher. Okay. So we'll continue to monitor this to see how price responds. Right now we're pressing to the upside. We want to continue to monitor this level from a longer term perspective. This level is going to be key. Okay, it was resistance here, we broke, came back below, and we've struggled so far. Right, if we break back above it, we could see a retest and then a continuation higher up to this weekly resistance level. Okay, so we want to continue to monitor that. All right, this is a new level of daily resistance also. Okay, so that's the dollar. That's the dollar and where we stand. Potential for that to continue to press higher depending on how the data comes. Okay, and then oil right? We briefly touched on it last night, but oil is still, right, pressing down, still pressing down, not able to break above the trend line, not able to stay above this weekly level that we broke through to the downside, right? So now we're continuing to press down. And now it's just a matter of, do we stall and get a reversal here? Or do we continue to press to these lower levels, right? Pop back out to the daily. All right, we took out the A here on that press down. So that fib is done. And this is where we sit. Shallow retracement, price is pressing down. So we could be headed to this daily support level, potentially this $80 range, right? Maybe lower, right? But next range we'll look at is this this daily support level, right? Came in here. We had a decent amount of consolidation in that zone. Okay. So we'll see how price responds once we get here. Right, and see if we get a turnover and then a retracement higher, or if price barrels through that and gets down to the $66 level. Right, so that's what we're looking at now. Right, shallow retracement, potential push to the 118 and 127 zone on oil, which means, right, your Canadian dollar pairs, right, you could see those continue to press outside of that Aussie CAD, continue to press in the favor of the base currency. Okay. You with me on that thought, Desi? Okay. Looking at the 118 to 127, or are you looking at the $66 range?
The 66.
66? Okay.
Yeah, because that how you call it, that weekly, the weekly 66, 66.9 support.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Okay. I follow you. From a weekly perspective, it's clear move down, right? No resistance there from a weekly perspective. So we definitely could see that. Which will play into the zero CAD when we go take a look at it as well. But I follow you. Okay. Resident oil expert looking down here at these levels. Right. So we'll see. We'll see if we continue to barrel to the downside. Appreciate you, Desi.
Thank you. Welcome.
All right. So that's oil. So that gives us a little bit of context, even though that Aussie CAD is a little different because of the downward pressure coming out of Australia. All right. So let's bounce back. And it was that one. It's Aussie yen. I do want to take a look at from a weekly perspective, right? We just been ranging here. Never got a 38 off the weekly, but it's just been a sideways push. Okay. On the daily, actually, I'm going to add in this weekly support here. Right, weekly support there. I'm going to add that in and drop that down also. That's going to be key. Down like that. We got daily levels there too. So this is that zone that price has not been able to break through, right? Has not been able to break through. So we're ranging right here. Okay, we came back, retested previous consolidation there. We turned over. Now, do we get a new swing high to form here? Actually, we have it. So this is a daily resistance level right here, right? This is our high point, 2 to the right, 2 to the left, like so, okay? So we got resistance level there now, right? 2 daily resistance levels. And now we'll see, do we press to the bottom of this range now, right? So yesterday we talked about this and we said on the lower time frame, we had a potential for a crown pattern. You can see it here on the 4, right? See it here on the 4, you got a nice 786 retracement, but you got the crown pattern formation here, right? Which we also saw on the 1. So now do we get price to continue to turn over and press to the downside to get us back to the bottom of this range, okay? So as we get to the 1, this is the look. And we see prices already started to turn over, right? And it's pressing down. So this is 1. Let me take these trend lines out, right? We got the break. So now This is one. If you go down to your 15, you look at the cloud, we broke below the cloud, right? Price turned over yesterday. We came back, retested the cloud here, and now we're pressing down, right? We had your Tinkerson and your Keterson moving through price here, and you finally got that crossover, a clean crossover here, okay? And you have your lagging span below price. You got your Kumo twist, right? So we're pressing down now. Okay. So this one, we got some confirmation of price turning over and pressing down. And we got a decent ways to go. Right. So you can look at this from a couple of different perspectives. Right. You can wait. Right. Wait to see if we get a break of this support level here on the 15-minute time frame. Right. Break, retest, and then play that continuation. Or, right, we got those confirmations that came here, right? Place your stop above the high, right? Still playing it relatively tight, or above the cloud, like so, right? And we're playing that right shoulder down, okay? Something like that. Okay, stop above the cloud, 30, 33, 35 pips, right? And we're looking for price to continue to the downside, at least to that $91 level, $91.95, okay? So if we run the fib on the one, right, that harmonic fib from the top to the bottom of this, right, that D extension puts you in that same zone, right? A boundary here, right, in between this daily support and this cluster down here, daily and weekly levels, okay? So we've still got a nice range to go. So you can place your stop above the cloud. If price breaks back above the cloud, right, it'll be a 35 pip stop. Or, right, you can wait for a break of this support level here on the one and then play it to the downside there, right? But looking for price to continue to the downside on this one, okay? Any questions here?
On the 1 hour, you also have, looks like there's some weekly support at around 93.79 and then again 93.60. So any
Weekly support?
Yes. No, let me see. I'm sorry. 4 hour support. Yes, 4 hour.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's coming in around right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Around this level here. Yep, which is kind of in that same range of this 93.79. Yep, in the same range here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Good eye. Good eye. Good eye. Yep. So that's how you can play that, right? If you get a break below, right, look for that continuation, or if you want to play, right, this right shoulder, because you're also, if you're running your trend lines to the upside, right, you got your trend line break there, pull back and retest. You can place your stop above the high, right, and then play it to the downside like so. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Any other questions on this one? No? Benny, good morning, bro.
Good morning, Ryan. How are you?
Doing well, man. How about yourself?
Doing okay this morning.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good, good. Glad to see you, bro.
Yep. Glad to be here, man.
All right. Good morning, Miss Kiki. You got any thoughts on that New Zealand after things played out last night? Did you have a chance to take a look at anything this morning?
No, I took a quick glance at it. We were talking yesterday how most of the way it's playing out with most of the central banks is that you get that initial thrust and prices rolling over.
Yeah.
Depending on what they're saying in regards to forward guidance. And that's exactly what happened. It kind of followed the same progression as the other rate statements. You get that initial thrust and then it just rolled over.
It rolled over, came back. Yep.
Yeah. So we were talking about the type of language that they could use, going into the rate statement, after making the rate decision. And they all kind of just mirror each other.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's exactly what happened. It gave that initial thrust and that move up, but then it turned over.
And then it turned over.
Yep.
Yep. For sure. Cool deal. So nothing else on the Aussie yen. This Aussie dollar is on the move. We're looking at it to see did we get a stall at this daily support level, and it didn't. So if we bounce back, right, come back to the daily level, right? From a daily perspective, price is down. We got a break of the trend line here, right? Price coming back, retesting that trend line now. We had a previous daily resistance level here, right? Looking to see if that level held as support. And the way it looks is price is breaking through that, and we could be breaking back through that trend line as well, okay? If we look at it, yep, I can from a fib perspective, right? This is Benny talked about last night, right? It could be time for this to turn over and continue to move to the downside. We got some daily levels to break through. However, right, we're watching this to say, okay, is this going to give us this reversal? Price continue to press up, and now we got a new swing high to form there, and we got price pressing to the downside. So now it's just a question of, do we break back below this trend line that we broke, right? And do we continue to take out these daily support levels as we move, okay? So I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. I'm gonna take that one out. That one and if we close below that one, we'll take that one out also. But this will be our next level here to watch. So as we get down to the 4, this is what that looks like. AB boundary, shallow retracement, push just above that B, and then collapsed. So now we're sitting at that trend line, okay? Now we're sitting at the trend line, seeing if we close below that level, okay? We close below that and that daily level, we could be off to the races for a little bit, okay? So that's on the 4, right? Deep retracement here as well, so we can watch it to see if we get a reversal at all. But right now, it's just barreling to the downside. So as we drop to the 1, we broke those trend lines. We'll take those out, right? We'll just look at it from this perspective. This is that downtrend line coming off the daily, okay? That we originally broke through to the upside. Now, right, we're breaking back through to the downside, right? So that's what we want to see, is what happens. This is the 4 hour. Take out. So what happens here? Okay, if this closes below, right, we could be in to continue to the downside there. Okay. And then if you look at it, right, from your cloud, you're starting to get separation now, right? Starting to get separation. So still moving to the downside. Keep your eyes on it to see if we get a reversal at any point. But right now, it's on the go, right? It's on the go. So any questions on this dollar, Aussie dollar? That weak data is definitely playing its role. Definitely playing its role. Shauna, good morning. Good to see you.
I mean, it's the Aussie is what's moving.
It is.
You called that the Aussie dollar. I think you put that in the Telegram group like back on the 10th.
Yep.
The Aussie dollar has been falling. It's been falling ever since. Even the pound Aussie that we posted.
Pound Aussie and the Euro Aussie.
It's still moving to the upside.
Yep. I'm gonna take a look at them real quick, just to see the progress on them.
Yeah.
And we got a little ways to go. All right.
I mean, and then I'm sorry.
No, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. And then, I mean, even with the NZD USD, we got the correction to the upside, but it's really just following the path of the head and shoulders still dropping in the zone. So we got
Yeah.
the correction, but when we put that out on, what was it, Sunday?
Yep.
So we got the initial thrust and the correction to the upside, but then it just rolled back over, but it's still just following the path to the downside of the head and shoulders that we posted on Sunday. I think it was, Sunday.
Sunday, yep.
On the 14th. It's just still dropping in the zone. So yeah.
Still moving in the direction. Yes, sir. This Euro Aussie, right? We never got a daily 38.2, right? Never got that daily 38.2. And now you see price is pressing to the upside. Took out these previous levels, right? Pressing to the upside. Strong bullish action there. Okay, strong bullish action. So now as we drop down, we see on the 4, we also got this trend line break. Bang, right? Closed above, nice bullish candle. Now we're pressing. So we could at some point see a small retracement, come back and retest that daily level, right? And then look for this thing to at least continue back to this level. And then long term, we could be looking at price moving to that daily 38.2. Okay, so we'll keep our eyes on it over the long term, but right now, pressing to the upside, which we saw, right? Even here on the 1, the small reversal pattern here, inverted king's crown, right? Playing out to the upside. So we're headed toward this crown D extension here, right? It's back to the top of that smaller range. And then we'll see if we get a pullback and then continuation. Okay. So let me see something here. I think I deleted the level. Yeah, there we go. That's that daily level there, right? So that's where we're headed. That smaller crown pattern playing out. Next level that we're looking at is here at 1447671. All right. So that's on the go. It's on the go. And then you see here, right? We played around in this cloud a little bit, right? But we finally got this push. Lagging span broke through. Got your twist ended up coming here, right? And your crossover came here. And then it's off to the races, right? And you see getting all of them is key, right? Yeah, you could have been in this early, but it would have been early for this move and you would have been in this range here, right? But once you got all of the confirmations, right? Your crossover, you didn't get your twist until here. You got your lagging span to break through above price and above the cloud, right? Then you saw price really accelerate and take off. Similar to what it did back here, right? Similar to what it did here, accelerated. So now we got this next acceleration to the upside right here, right? So you see it's key to have all of those confirmations intact, right? And once you get them, price really moves. Price really moves. All right, so that's the Euro Aussie. All these things are going. Pound Aussie, similar deal. Right? Daily perspective. Right? We've been playing in this range. Tried to break out to the downside, but pushed right into this 118, 127 zone. And now we're getting this push and this acceleration to the upside. Right? So we could be potentially headed towards, right? This daily 382. We know that UK inflation highest since 1982. Also, another article that I read stated that investors were pricing in another 50 basis point hike, right? Which could also be, right, cause of this, right? Pricing in at like 96% chance that they come in at least 50 basis points, right? So we're getting this press to the upside now. So we're headed back to the top of this range. And then once we get there, we can assess to see, are we able to break through this cluster and get to the daily 38.2, or do we get to the top of the range again, similar to what we did here and turn back over? Okay. So on the 4, right, looking from a fib perspective on the 4, we took out the A here, right? The AB boundary, price turned and went. Okay. So now take those out and we flip them. So on the 4, pivot to the upside, the extension is achieved. So at some point we could get price to reverse, give us a pullback, right? Give us a pullback and then a continuation to the top of that range, right? So we still got a ways to go. Still got a ways to go here. Okay. On the 1, this is what that looks like. Right? Similar deal, broke through your trend lines. And we're off. Took out the A on the 1, right? So we'll flip these. We'll come here. The extension achieved on the 1, right? Broke daily resistance. You see it happening there, right? So we could get price to turn over, pull back, and then continue. So we got a ways to go. Right? And then down on the 15, right? Looking at it from the cloud, getting all those confirmations, right? You had them all here. Price accelerated. You got some consolidation, right? You could have took profit there at your 1 hour 38.2, right? You got some consolidation that occurred. Price pulled back below the cloud, right? Turned over. You got your crossover. You got your twist. You got your lagging span above price and now above the cloud. Bang. Your acceleration happened. Right? So having each of those is key. Having each of those is key. So now we're going to move to the upside. We got some separation and prices off. All right. Questions on this pound Aussie? Nope. Sean, I saw you about to unmute your mic. You doing all right?
Can you hear me, Coach?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just trying to get back in the swing of things, Killer. Yeah, I'm great.
I
What
dig
about
it.
you?
Doing well. It's good to hear your voice.
You too, Coach.
All right. So that's where we are on the pound Aussie. All right. So I'll take a look at this Euro CAD. We talked about it last night. Talked about where it was and its ranging. So we want to continue to review this one, right? Because we got a few things playing in our favor. And we also looked at the situation with oil, right? So we'll go back to the monthly perspective, sitting at that monthly support. Look at it. Sitting at that monthly support, right? Couldn't break through. Strong move down, stopped it, pulled it back. Now we're getting some indecision there. Okay. So on the weekly time frame, 118, 127, getting the sideways push, right? Also some indecision. Okay, but not able to break through that monthly support level. So if we stay above this monthly support level, right, to be in for move to the upside, right? Especially if oil does give us that continued push down to around that $66 level, right? We could see these crosses make their move to the upside. So daily perspective, we're sitting in this B boundary range. Okay. Haven't gotten this 38.2, which is sitting at this weekly resistance level. Okay. So, and you see prices trying to press out of this range now. Okay. So your 4 sideways push, but it's sideways push in that 118, 127 zone. Okay. Shallow retracement at 118, 127. This is a consolidation that we normally see. So now it's a question of, do we continue to get that rise to the upside? Okay. So in the 1, similar look, right? Well, not a similar look. You got price to push up there. This is that consolidation, right? But as we zoom in our trend lines, we got a nice, beautiful trend line break here, right? And we're pressing above out of this 118, 127 zone. Okay. So Now we got that move to the upside. It's been a long sideways push here. So if you run your sub fib on this from the high, look what you got. AB boundary, shallow retracement. Didn't quite get to the 118 and 127 zone, but you got your consolidation, and then you got your break. Right? So as we were talking about this last night, price was just lingering in this area. Right? Price was lingering in this area. So as we drop to the 15 to look at that cloud, bang. You got your crossover. Your cloud finally twisted here. Right? And you got your lagging span to breakthrough. Price broke above the cloud here. And now we got some acceleration. Right? So there we go. We're off. Now, if you're not in this, right, potentially wait for a pullback. Wait for a pullback. And then look for then that continuation to the upside. Okay. That makes sense on all levels? Yes. Okay. All right. Cool deal. A lot of potential here to the upside. So continue to monitor it, right? If you're not in it, look for the pullback and then continuation. Yeah, we could have a decent ways to go here. Right.
Hey Ryan, I got a question for you.
What's up, Dwan?
Good day, brother.
Good day, man.
All right. So everybody said yes, and I guess I'm the only one that said no.
No, what's up? I didn't see that come through.
Okay. So you were saying when you were on the 1 hour, you were saying, okay, we're looking for it to go to the upside. So that's more of the immediate thought right now, but the overall plan is for it to go to the downside, correct?
No, sir.
Okay.
No,
All right.
overall, right? If you bounce back to the weekly time frame, shallow retracement, price is sitting in this 118, 127 zone. Right? So we're looking at a down retracement zone. So I'm looking for price to retrace and move to the upside here.
Okay.
Right? And so how it looks when you add in your fundamentals, you have oil, which could potentially continue to press down to potentially a $66 level, right? So if oil, the Canadian dollar, tightly tied to oil, that's the commodity connection, right? So if oil continues to decrease in price, that Canadian dollar could also decrease in price, right? Or decrease in strength, if you look at it from a strength perspective. So if the Canadian dollar decreases in strength, looking at your base currency, counter currency perspective, right? Canadian dollar decreases in strength, your base currency will increase in strength.
Okay, I think you made the mental connection for me because right now, because I'm so used to you guys, talking about the technicals, and then now the fundamental comes into play right here. So the fundamental would be for it to have retrace and then continue to the downside, but the fundamentals are telling us that it's going to head to the upside. Right, because the extension is down there, right? Because
the extension is here, yes, but remember, right? In order for price to get to the extension, you have to have a retracement first.
Okay, all right.
And looking at it from a weekly and daily time frame perspective, it could be a little while, right?
Okay,
because we're sitting
right
down
now
here.
It's sitting at an 80-20, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. 80-20 on the weekly time frame, and then you're sitting at your B boundary on your daily time frame.
Okay.
Right. So in order for price to hit these extensions, now we want a high price for price to then turn over. And that high price could take a little bit for us to get to.
Okay. So that confuses me too as well. And because when we say the 80-20, right? 80% of the time it's going to retrace. Is that?
Yep. 80% of the time when you get a shallow retracement and price to push in as a 118 and 127 zone, you get a retracement to at least the 38.2 level.
Okay. And then 20% of the time it'll just blow past all of it.
Bingo. And continue down.
Okay. Gotcha.
Right. So we're in this scenario where if we get price to continue to press to the upside, is to give us that 80% opportunity.
Okay.
Right? And this is on the weekly time frame.
So actually right now I mean, if you're playing this from, let's just say the weekly, which would be, way too long on my demo account, but it would be more playing towards the daily or the 4-hour.
Yeah. So if you wanted to drop this fib down and look at it from that perspective, you could drop it down to the daily time frame and look at it overall there. Right. Link it down. And now we're looking at this move here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I did exactly that.
Yeah.
And because now I'm just looking in for potential places to get in.
Yeah. And so then if you're looking for potential places to get in, you want to continue to make your way down to these lower levels, right? These entry, the trend line break here, right?
Mhm.
Cloud break here on the 15. Because we see, this is how you make, so we talk about confluence, right? And adding in additional pieces, additional details that ultimately tell us the same story, right? So this is how that works. So here on the weekly time frame, we got price sitting in this 118, 127 zone off of a shallow retracement. So on the weekly, we have an 80-20 scenario, right?
Mhm.
We also have monthly support right here, right? So you had a key support level, and you have on a weekly time frame an 80-20 scenario, right? Coming into confluence right in that zone. Okay, so that's two pieces of data, right? Monthly support, 118, 127 zone off of a shallow retracement, right? Two things that says, okay, we could see a reaction here. So as we go to the daily time frame, right? And we run our fibs off the daily, we had a fresh AB boundary form at this monthly support level, right? So this also tells you this is a key level of support. So now that's monthly, weekly, daily, 3 key points now, right? Monthly support, 118, 127 zone on the weekly time frame, and now we have a fresh AB boundary on the daily time frame that tells you, hey, we could see a reaction here. We could see a retracement occur, right? Price is held at this level, not able to break through it and close below, right? And we've been here since middle of July, so a month now. We've been moving sideways in this zone, right? So 3 pieces of data that says, hey, we could be in for a retracement, okay? Or reaction to the upside, right? So now as we continue to break this down, we get to the 4-hour. On the 4-hour, you also have shallow retracement, price push to the 118, 127 zone. And you see even more clearly now, not able to break through this monthly support level. So now we're at 4 key pieces of data that's giving us the same information, right? We could be in for a retracement, at least to this weekly resistance level, which is your daily 38.2, right? So all these pieces are saying, hey, we could be in for a retracement if this monthly support level holds, okay? So we got 4 pieces of data now that says we could be reversing, right? Four areas of confluence that says a reversal could be, or retracement could be coming soon, okay? And as we continue to break this down, right? Here on the 1, yes, we had a 618 retracement, right? But this is the range that we're playing in now. It's just moving sideways, just like we saw in the higher time frames. And we know the higher time frames control the lower time frames. So if we're going to get a reversal on your higher time frames, right, you could see this fib ultimately get taken out, right? Sideways push, not able to break out to the downside, not able to fully break out to the upside just yet, right? So now we're looking, okay, what will happen out of this consolidation, right? And with this being a long drawn out scenario, we've been moving sideways for a month, right? I decided I playing this range, we'll drop a fib at the last high point to the downside to see if we have any additional areas of confluence for potential reversal, right? So we run our fib from the top of the range to the bottom of the range here in this consolidation on the 1. And we also had this scenario here, along with, we ran our trend lines coming all the way from the top, right? Outermost point of the range here. And then we run our middle trend line and our inner trend line. So now we got a nice impulsive break of the trend line and then some continuation, right? So in your lower time frames with your sub fibs and your trend lines, you're also starting to get breaks, right? In strong bullish fashion. So it's either does it just move back to the top of the range, which, hey, off that, you're looking at 200 pips to the upside, right? Which is a week for many people, right? Or even better, does this really start to make the higher highs and higher lows to continue up to this weekly level, which is 350 pips away?
So those levels would be take profit levels, and
you can use them as that. These are resistance levels off the higher time frames, right? But you can use them as take profit levels, right? If you want to play it back to the top of the range, there you go, right? 190 pips, right? But those are just they were support levels, which now this serves as a resistance level. So as price gets here, we could see a reaction. If we break through it, we could see a reaction at the next previous support, could serve as resistance, right? This weekly level just came right in line with this daily 38.2, right? But you can use them as take profit levels as well if that's what you choose to do.
I see.
Does that help make it a little bit more clear?
Oh yeah, it does. Because we're seeing a lot of shallow retracements on the Euro CAD, other than that 618.
Yeah, at key support levels.
At key support levels, right? So it's looking as though this is primed to break.
Potentially, right? So if you add in those technical pieces to the fundamental piece of oil with the potential to continue down, which could continue to add selling pressure to the Canadian dollar, right? That's an additional piece of data that says we could be in for a retracement here.
Okay.
Right.
So
now you got your fundamental side and you got all of your technical pieces coming together in this zone.
Because the overall strategy that we trade are reversals, correct?
We trade the reversals.
Okay.
We trade the reversals. Right.
All right. Yes.
We're at an exhaustion point here, right? To the downside. So at some point, we're going to get a retracement. We could be at that some point. We've got a lot of data saying that we're there. Say it again.
I was just saying all these mental connections that are, that need to happen for me to understand it. So they're all getting tied in.
Awesome. Step by step, man. You got it.
Hey, Ryan.
That was great.
What's up, bro?
Just to reiterate, like you go back to that weekly chart and you'll see, I mean, that's just without anything else, right? Just to piggyback off of what you're saying, on that weekly chart, fib or no fib, that's just a big boy level. If your big time players, they see that level. It's just a matter of whether or not it's gonna hold. You better believe there's some big boys playing that level to get long. That's a key historical level. That's why we go from the top down, because that's what they're looking at. I don't like to guarantee anything, but I bet you if you go looking for, reports and analysis on the Euro CAD from some of your big boys that are investing.com and all of that stuff, they've got that, they're identifying that level as a key level.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
Hasn't been-
but yeah, right, because of what's happened in the past.
Yep.
Yeah, didn't you touch on the EuroCAD last night, Benny?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, yep, yep. So it's just, Ryan, that's a masterful breakdown on how to tie in all the additional confirmations, right? We always say we look at the text, we look at raw price action, we dress it up with the fib. The fib is just a tuxedo, right? So that Ryan starting at that top level is so important, and sometimes I think it's overlooked. He always stresses that higher time frame, those key levels, and we can't overlook that. Especially if we're a shorter term trader that's really just starting to learn how to eye those higher time frame levels. It's so important because that's when you look at the big boys, they're not down on the 15-minute and that 5. They're looking at those higher time frames and those key levels. Like we know a guy. What was it? The Aussie dollar when it reversed.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Blake was sitting there. When it hit 6, what did he say? Was it 65 or 60? 65, I think it was.
65, I believe, when he first started scaling into.
Right. He's just like, when it hits key level, they start scaling in. That's why you always hear him say, put your toe, dip your toes in the water, right? Drip the trays in. He's just like, every time it hits 65, I'm buying. That's how they think. So what Ryan just covered, did an awesome job covering, is just how you can add those additional confirmations on it. But that's how they think. Here's these key levels I'm looking to buy, and they have those levels identified way in advance. Hey, when price gets here, I'm gonna look to buy this.
Right, because we trade with the big boys.
Right. So
only one league,
right.
man.
Right. Yeah. That's what's making the market move. So that's the overall thought process. Then from there you go into, whatever style of trader you're going to be, whether you're intraday trader, day trading, things like that, no shorter term setups. But just having knowledge of how their thought process and how they're thinking can really, like Ryan always says, take those smaller trades and turn them into huge trades. Like that pound Aussie. Like, yeah, we had some shorter term targets on that. But when you look at how Ryan did the top down analysis on that pound Aussie, we know it had potential to be a lot longer than that. So even if you had scaled out of that position and left 25% of your trade on to let it run to see if you can get more action out of it, the only way you know that is to look at things from the top down.
Right.
Get outside the picture frame a bit and see. So that was a great question, Ryan. That was a great analysis you did to explain it.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely helped me a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking the question, bro. Any other questions on that? No? I hope that helped make the connection for others as well. Other one that was lingering that I haven't looked at, and we're starting to get that turn. So this is another one. Look at this. Euro Swiss weekly time frame, right? We mapped out this crown pattern. Benny mapped it out from a monthly, long time ago, right? Benny mapped it out off the right tip here, right? And we're watching this thing come all the way down again, right? Another historical level, right? This is an all-time low on this Euro Swiss, right? All-time low. Key level, right? Along with your crown pattern coming to completion, right? Off the monthly time frame. So we get down to the weekly, right? And you see it a little bit more in detail. So now it's playing that key level. So on your daily, you look at it. Daily, look what we got. Shallow retracement, price pushed down to that level, right? Pushed down to that level. And now we're getting this reversal. Okay. So again, let's go back, right? Weekly time frame. Decision, now we're getting the price to push up. monthly time frame. Strong, decisive candle down, right? We could potentially end in some indecision, right? So we'll see over the next couple of months if we end up with a morning star pattern here: decision, indecision, then decision, right? From a monthly time frame perspective, that'll be key if that occurs, right? So now on your daily, you got a fresh AB boundary, pressed down just below it, right? Shallow retracement, didn't get to the 118 and 127 zone, but we're starting to get a reversal here, okay? So as we get to the 4, you also had a new AB boundary, shallow retracement, and you got your reversal. And now you're getting also, you got your trend line break, right? So now you got your trend line break. This monthly level looks like it's holding pretty steady, right? You had a wick below it and then a push back up. And now you're getting this long-term trend line break also, right? Crown pattern completion, new AB boundary on your daily, on your 4 hour, a key all-time low, right? So now as you continue to break this thing down, look what also you got. On your 1 hour, shallow retracement, we said, hey, we want to see price continue to make its way down. It did so. And now we're also getting this reversal at the same time, right? So now we're starting to press out of the zone. See? And then if you go down to the 15 and you add on your cloud, you get your additional confirmation of that reversal right there. And now we're pressing out. So this is another one, right? From a long-term perspective, we could be in for a potential move to the upside. Now, we want to see if we break back above this daily level, but this monthly level is holding strong. We could see some ranging happening here, right? Could see some ranging happening here, but you can't get a better opportunity than this, right? For a nice move to the upside. This and that Euro CAD, right? Coming to some key, like Benny said, historical levels, not able to break through them.
Could you drop the cloud on the 1 hour? Say if you were looking to enter on the 1 hour instead.
So now, right, you got, let me make these lines a little thicker. So you don't have a bullish. Hold on, let me make sure. Take that off. Okay, yep. So you got your twist there, right? Bullish move there. Price above your TK crossover.
Mhm.
Your lagging span hasn't quite broken through price yet, right?
Okay.
It's above, I'm sorry, it hasn't broken through the cloud yet. It's above price,
But price. Mhm.
right? So you got this move to the upside. So what we could potentially be in for is a retracement and then a continuation.
Okay. But
So
here,
what I'm,
go ahead.
no, go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, but here, based on what you showed us on the 15th, it just gets us in a lot quicker, sooner.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right.
Hey, Ryan.
Yo.
So now it just becomes about levels, right? And time frames. So
Yep.
if it puts you in early, on a 15-minute, right? You're already in this trade. Now it just becomes a question of, as you move up through the time frames, now I've got the break on the 1. If I'm already in this position off the 15, when I get that cloud break on the 1 and everything aligns for me, do I want to add to that position at that point? Kind of helps you with that. Kind of helps you with that too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So
Okay.
something to think about. And like we had discussed on Saturday, Rand's really pointing out how that lagging spin hasn't broke through the cloud yet, right? So that's that additional confirmation that we talked about. But a lot of times, oftentimes, what you have to look out for is that if you wait for that lagging spin, because it is lagging 26 periods in the past, right? If you wait for that additional confirmation at that point, a lot of times with the price action, exactly what Ryan is saying, you may get that, you may be looking at a pullback, then an
Right.
entry. If you're waiting on that, if you're waiting for that additional lagging span confirmation. So you got your TK crossover, you got lagging span breaking price, you got price breaking the cloud, you got your bullish Kumo cloud twist up front. If you're waiting on an additional lagging span to break through the cloud along with price, then like Ryan said, you're gonna look probably for that a pullback at some point, because sometimes price will really get going above that cloud by the time that lagging span crosses through with it.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, that's a pretty awesome setup, Ryan.
Man,
Yeah,
Ryan,
it's pretty
isn't
cool.
that also a, if you look at it as a crown right there at the bottom?
yeah. Pull it out right here. Yep.
This guy's a rocking and rolling now. I'm gonna retire. I'm gonna go ahead and retire now. They got it, man.
Right? They got it, man. They got
Yeah,
it.
he has a good
Mission
eye.
is complete.
They got it, man. Absolutely.
I'm not even quite sure what I'm doing yet, and I'm drooling.
It's all there, man. It's all there. You got it, Juan. The opportunities are there once you understand the thought process and the foundational principles of how this thing moves. It moves in waves. Period. It moves in waves. So now if you understand it moves in waves, a little bit more about that Fibonacci sequence, right? How do I know when price is going to reverse? Fibonacci sequence, break every trend line, swing highs and swing lows, which are identification points of support and resistance. So at key levels, with those new points of support and resistance, you could see reversals. Fibonacci sequence gives you targets, percentages that we can then measure these moves by. But just looking at it from a just a basic level, support, resistance, trend lines. That's it.
You know, one of the things you guys teach this so well live that because I'm halfway through all the videos, and so when I go back to the videos, I feel as though I already know what y'all talking about, and you know, I said, oh, okay, yeah, you know, I'm there already. Okay,
That's a beautiful thing, right? So that
Yes.
adds to, right? Because and that's, again, we were very, very strategic in regards to how we set up this community, right? And that's why we say we want people to go through the training, but also either show up to the live sessions or watch the recording of the live sessions, because it helps you to make those connections. Because we know there are going to be questions after you watch those videos. We know that's going to happen. And when that happens, we want you guys to come to these live sessions and ask those questions and do the homework, post the charts with the question so we can answer the question. So you can then go back to the video and make that connection as you're doing. Right?
yeah, I've been slacking on posting my charts, but I've been doing my charts. I've just been slacking on posting them.
Okay. As long as you're getting the work in, but what you're also doing is you're showing up and you're asking the questions that come about. Right? So,
Yeah.
as long as you're doing the work and asking the questions and you're making the connections, right? Got to have all the pieces. And that's where a lot of people get stuck. Is a lot of people either want to just show up to get signals, which we're not a signal service, or they want to just show up to the live session and that's it. But you see in these live sessions, we go through top-down analysis, and we're looking at potential entries. So if you don't understand the basics of what we're doing, showing up just to these live sessions, you're going to be lost. That's why we always say, go back and watch those videos. And a lot of people get lost because they don't want to go back and watch those videos. Those videos give you the foundation that we're able to build on in these live sessions, which is why you're able to go back and make those connections.
Yeah.
So important, so important, so important.
I was looking at the, you know, I was kind of looking ahead at, you know, where the videos go. That's how I know I'm halfway in there. But I can't wait to get to the point where I'm watching the 100 pip a week challenge.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. And then you guys start showing me stuff here, and I'm saying, oh my goodness. I mean, 100 pips a week. I mean, I could see, you know, 500 pips a week from what you guys show on all these pairs.
Exactly. Exactly. Just like on Sunday to Monday, there's 300 pips on the table.
Whew.
Like I said yesterday, the week is done. The week is done. You don't need any more than that. The market's going to continue to move, but most people, statistics in this space is 99% of people fail. 99% of people fail, which means most people aren't able to get 100 pips a week. Most people aren't able to get 100 pips a month.
Wow.
You have some professional traders, right, that run large organizations, say, hey, if you can find somebody that can get 100 pips a week, send them to me. And once you're able to demonstrate that, you can do this thing on your own. Because then it's just about scaling up, right? The process is the same. It's just scaling up that account. So that 100 pips that starts out as $10 a week, then turns into $100 a week, then turns into $1,000 a week, then turns into $2,000 a week, right? The same 100 pips. But where people struggle and where people stop is they're not able to control themselves mentally to follow the same process and not over leverage. They want it today instead of compounding over time. You're making this connection here with the technical piece and the fundamental piece, and then it's about understanding yourself and managing your thoughts and your emotions to focus on the process, not about that bill you're trying to pay with this cash. That's why you hear Benny say all the time, focus on the process. Fall in love with the process. Because that's what's going to win in the long term. It's the process. Somebody's about to chime in. Was it Joy?
What up, though?
What up?
I got 5 cents to put in.
Talk to me.
When you said the week is over, I said, for who? I still got open trades running, sir. And one of them is actually doing good. So I'm like, well, I said, but that's low key for future reference. Don't get in no more trades, Joy, because I didn't understand that over trading was over leveraging as well. I was like, you know, I'm just going to see what it do, let it do. And sometimes I had to learn how to let things go. And one of my brokers had actually sent me an email. I was like, that was nice of them to give me this warning saying, maybe you should just look at some other things and stop trading on this account for the week. Because it was a couple of things that was in there that was looking good. And I'm just getting well. I'm just getting my bearings back. So I'm happy. I'm getting like, whoa, I'm about to get in the charts. But I had to get ready for work too. And I was like, dang, Joy, you got to get back on your P's and Q's. So, man, thank you. I just wanted to put my 50 cents in. That's it.
I love it. I love it.
Hey,
Glad
Joy,
you're
you
feeling
bullish
better.
on life.
Man, let me tell you. Man, I was so geeked. That's the reason why I overslept yesterday, because a lot of that anxiety wasn't even there no more. When I sat there and it was like, this cloud for me is a training wheel. You know what I'm saying? I could take on and off because I don't keep it on the chart. But I was like, where am I at right now? Okay. And just having that along with knowing understanding the price action alone, you start to visually see it. I hate to say it, I know what a 382 is by eyesight now. And I think I've lost so many times at that 382 level. I started because looking at it from the computer and switching up to the iPad kind of have you distorted for a minute. Sometimes I had to jump on this desktop. But not to say that I was worried for nothing. I ain't never felt so calm in a long time. I haven't felt like the ease or the pressure to even have to jump on. And I finally said, and Benny and Ryan heard me say, it is what it is. I know what my loss is. As far as my risk management. And that's what the whole game was for me, was working on that risk management and being consistent with it. So when Ryan said that you was done for the week, I was like, no, I still got one more trade. But I still had limit orders sitting there. And guess what? Thank God that the limit orders that I put in, because I was hesitant to get back in that NU, because I posted that on there. That's what made me look at it on Facebook, because I had a buy limit. And you know what? I still forgot to take it out, but I put my stop loss on the 15. So it didn't hurt. It was just a pinch. Just remember, take them sell limits out after a nice rally, because it might not go right back. You got to give it a minute. So that's my 50 cents.
Hey, Joy, I know why you sleeping good too.
Wow.
Because Benny brought in that cloud and you sleeping on it.
Man, drop the cloud on him. Hey, let me tell you, drop the cloud on him. Man, yes, that's why I'm sleeping. Yes, the clouds. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Hey, Ryan.
Yo.
And we didn't even, when you look at pair correlation, because we didn't get to posting in time, but for one, the pound Aussie is still running. That's your trade of the week. That you didn't need anything else, right?
Man,
and we know
I'm
that
still in EA right now. It's
right.
about to exhaust. I'm still in EA right now.
And we didn't even so you think Aussie, everybody, Aussie, New Zealand, two commodity currencies, same region, same major trade partner, China. So if you go to the pound New Zealand, it's similar price action on the pound New Zealand. Look at it. Right? When you look at how that broke the cloud, look.
That's a Swissy.
Right? See it? Just running. Just running. Right? So that's why you don't have to put the house on the trade, just catch pips and scale up from there.
That's it. It's a beautiful game once you truly understand the rules. It's a beautiful game once you understand the rules. Just like life. It's a beautiful game once you understand the rules. Most people come into the space with a distorted view, distorted perception, and they never seek the basics of the rules. They start at a 5,000-foot view. And it's all based on get this money real fast. You can make this $10,000 real quick. And that's it. And they're never taught the foundational principles of how this thing works. The basic rules, just like you've never played basketball before. And you want to go to the college level and you're going to hop on a court and play with Duke University. You're going to be fumbling over your feet. You're going to travel. You're going to turn the ball over. You're going to get hurt. Same thing in this space. If you jump in this thing, not understanding the foundational principles of how to dribble, how to walk, how to run, how to jump, what defense is, you're going to get hurt. That's why
Not only what defense is, but what it isn't.
What it isn't. Yep. So important to understand the rules of the game, man. So important. So important. Yeah, man.
This was a great session, Ryan.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Oh, it really is. But all of your sessions are great, but this one was very good as well.
I'm glad you were all able to take something from it. I greatly appreciate you. Greatly appreciate you.
Hey, Ryan, you don't just do Mindset Mondays, man. You do Mindset every day.
I appreciate it, man. You guys have heard me talk about it. I love how the mind works. It's absolutely fascinating to me. So it's something that it's not something that I just talk about, but these are things that I also work to implement in my life, that I've experienced and that I've seen. Right? Implementing it in my family, in my children. Right? Even my wife, getting her to shift her thought process to see things differently. Right? Not trying to change anybody, but to move from a pessimistic glass half empty perspective.
Yes.
To one of glass is half full. And I have the ability to impact how much water I put in this cup. We have the power to create change. It's absolutely fascinating to me in every sense of the word. And I genuinely want to help people take steps toward their desire. That's my mission in life. When I discuss my why, my purpose, my mission, my cause, I legit get goosebumps every time I talk about it. It's not just about me. It's not just about my family. It's legit about how can I help change the world? So I appreciate you guys trusting me, trusting us, and going through this process with us. Because it's bigger than what you think, man. It's bigger than what you think.
Ryan, I did a 5-day, it's kind of like the Proctor & Gamble Institute had something. If you wouldn't mind, I can drop it in the chat. I think they have it up until Friday.
What is it?
The Bob Proctor's Institute.
Oh, Bob Proctor?
5-day program that was on breakthrough to freedom and fulfillment. And one of the things they discussed that was really stressed is, not living from your 5 senses, but living from those, your perception, your will, those
Mhm.
faculties that enable you to change your paradigms. And also it was really, really good though.
Yeah.
I
By all
can
means.
drop it in here. And
By all means. He's really big on shifting that paradigm, how you see and perceive the world, right? And it goes back to some of the stuff we talk about regarding understanding your past and where you come from, right? And what that paradigm was and how it was created from the beginning, and then the steps to change that into what it is that you actually desire it to be, and moving in a different direction, to see the world, to see life, to see everything differently.
yeah, it was really good. I definitely
Appreciate
gained
that.
a lot.
Appreciate that. But yeah, man, this is bigger than what you guys may think, man. It's legit. And that's why when I talk about you finding your why, finding your purpose, your mission, your cause, that's why I state that it has to be bigger than you. If it's just about you, if it's just about the money, if it's just about the tangible materialistic things, you're going to get to that point and you're going to be stuck. You're going to feel lost again. You're going to have to restart the cycle again, as opposed to creating a vision, a desire that's bigger than you, and understanding that people say, shoot for the stars, you at least get to the clouds, right? Understanding that there's a process involved, and yeah, by the time that I die, I may not change the world completely. However, the impact that I will be able to have will be massive. The impact that you'll be able to have will be massive if we shift our thinking from that small pebble to the ocean, and taking the steps and learning how to make progress in that space, and learning from each experience that we have to move forward, not looking at it as a brick wall, but an opportunity to learn and take us one step further. Yeah, man.
I just wanted to say that when I ran across Casey's YouTube video, that was how I found the Forex trading room, was, watching her on YouTube. I never imagined that I would get a trading education, mindfulness. I mean, you guys are awesome. You give so much. This is awesome. And you need to know that.
Thank you.
Yeah, ditto. I absolutely agree. I found it through Casey as well on YouTube. And it's mind blowing, actually, all of the benefits that come with your program. And I'm really grateful for the amount of the program. Oh my God, I'm so grateful. So yeah, I'm with her. You guys are awesome.
Thank you. We appreciate
Thank
you
you.
guys. We appreciate the feedback. We really do. Benny, you got anything before I close it out, bro?
Great session, man. Great session as always. I just leave people with the words of my mentor, the great John Maxwell, right? The greatest lie that was ever told was that there's a shortage of money and opportunity. And when you look at that statement and you apply it to all the social ills and issues that we have right now, it's just people operating from a mindset of scarcity instead of abundance. So great session. Look forward to seeing everybody who can make it, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight for the live Asian session.
Have an awesome, awesome, awesome Wednesday, everybody. We'll see you tonight. Peace.
Thank you.
Thank
Absolutely,
you.
everybody. Good night.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.